You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
We are back with John Blackburn, and I had a question. Brenda and chat pretty much reiterated it before I could really get it out. But does David bond with anything other than, or has he bonded other than with those two paintings and the spirit board?
Yes, he has actually. What I actually did, funny enough, without realizing it, I kind of did elements of the skull experiment without knowing. Because do you remember when Robin Foy said that they were able to get a crystal? I think he said a crystal, didn't he? And that would enable the spirit team to go to America or to wherever. If they kept it at the skull cellar, I think, if I remember rightly, if they put a crystal at one location, it would allow the spirit team to go to another location.
Because it would be able to move through the crystal energy? Yeah.
If you remember that. Basically what I did is I had a crystal ball, and it was from a very good friend of mine called Andy Mercer. And Andy practices the occult, and he has done for many years, about 35 years now. And this crystal ball he had for about 35 years. And he sold it to me because I wanted it. I wanted it as part of the Enigma experiment. And I always remember that when David was attached to the spirit board, which was at Maxine's house, I was working about 200 miles away at this place. I can't remember what it's called now. And I took the crystal ball with me, and David was able to interact with the crystal ball.
Fascinating.
Even though he's 200 miles away, he was able to interact with the crystal ball. And I knew it was David because he answered all my questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and plus you probably recognized his energy.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all were friends.
Yeah, exactly. And his energy is so strong. It's so strong.
Where does your relationship stand now? I know you said that he's still in your home and that he does, interact. And that, are you going to try to build up through the skull suggestions with the more activity, or are you comfortable where it is now?
No, I want to build him back to the way he was. I mean, my whole plan, really. Do you remember when I talked to Robin Foy about the germanium receptor?
Yes.
When he called it TDC, didn't he? Basically, when I was working with the Anguished Man, David was so energized at that point that if I asked him to turn around and face me, which you've seen a video,
yes,
he turned around and faced me.
Still blows my mind.
So
in a good way.
That's good. But what I wanted to do is I built my own germanium receptor, my own version of that. And as soon as I gave the easel to David, it gave him legs.
Right.
And what I wanted to do is I wanted to give him a voice. I wanted to sit next to David and talk to him by use of this germanium receptor. That's something I still want to do today, but now with the painting, which I painted. So I need to get David back to a position where he's active like he used to be. I mean, he is active still, but as strong as he used to be, where he'll dance around and move around on the easel. And once I've got to that position, I know the next step then is to get him to talk through this germanium receptor. And I know I can do it, but I just need to get myself routined like the skull experiment were.
Well, they were scheduled. They were several times a week that they met and did their circles, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he mentioned twice, didn't he, at one point?
At one point, but I know that at the beginning, I think they had started with 3.
Yeah.
And, it fascinates me because this, he calls it the TDC because of the transdimensional communication, but it's really, you can Google this and figure it out. It's an Edison product. Mm-hmm. And
that's it.
I just find it something I'm going to build.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try this. It's really fascinating. How have you used it with any other area other than with David?
Yeah, I've used it just on its own, and
right.
There was once or twice where I've got reactions from it, or like once we got a voice, I think.
That's just cool.
Because it's just pure white noise. It's not like a ghost box or anything like that where you can hear radio waves in between. Mm-hmm. It's just pure white noise.
Does it not drive you mad?
The white noise?
Yes.
Not really, because it's only a small speaker on it, to be honest.
Okay,
it's only,
well, I could live with that.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. But that's the problem for me. That's the problem with it. I'll probably get in trouble now, but for me, that's the problem with the ghost box or the Frank's box, is because it picks up radio waves, and it could be someone's voice on the radio, couldn't it?
Could be anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be picking up shortwave and other things as well.
Whereas the germanium receptor, it's just pure white noise and nothing else.
Yes. I think that I would like that much better because the noise makes me nervous and I miss things in it. I know that a man that I met recently has created a no noise, but I guess it's still an energy cycle, but without the noise of the spirit box. And I'm going to try that because if it's worthwhile, I will endorse that. I am just so over the noise. But this I'm going to try because without the frequencies, the radio frequencies, I think it would be better.
What better than a design that's been given to you by Spirit?
Exactly. Because they know what they need. Mm-hmm. Shelley has spirits in her jail. She owns a haunted jail here in the U.S. Ooh. And her spirits have told her what they need her to do in order to communicate better. She has set it up as a paranormal research center. You would love it.
I would
love it. I have had some very extreme experiences there. It's called the Old Paulding Jail. You can check that out online. I'll send you a link.
Yeah, please.
And she always has cameras going through it throughout the whole thing. So kind of nifty. Well, I am glad that you and David are together because I do know how affected you were when you weren't.
It was heartbreaking, Kat.
It was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking to have you relate the story to me because you could just hear in your voice how much you missed him. So I love a happy ending. I do indeed love one. And you got one.
Indeed, I did.
So what do you have coming up? I know that you have Planet Earth on YouTube, which is just fantastic. And Michael is a good, I don't know if you call that a videographer or a cameraman or what, but he's very good, whatever you call that.
Yeah. He's, well, what we got going, we got the physical Earth. Mm-hmm. I'm going to concentrate more on the pentamento experiment, which I've just mentioned to you.
Yes.
And I think for the time being, there's those two things. I'm working with Michael on some events as well, which is Ultimate Haunted UK. Ultimate Haunted Haunted UK is Michael's channel, and basically what he does, he goes out with teams and he films teams as an independent film. You know, he's not part of that team; he just films independently. So we are going to be doing a couple of events together where they'll be filmed as part of Ultimate Haunted UK, but I'll be working with Michael on them. So at the moment, I think it's those three things. But do you know what, Kat? I'm always looking to do more.
You are. You're never bored.
And my other thing is interdimensional beings. That's what I am going to focus on too.
I had that written down for us to get to, and we never got that far. Again, as a result of the video that you had sent me. And I always, everyone I know who has experienced extraterrestrials or anything interdimensional, including, I think, dogmen and things of that nature, if they are real, are interdimensional, everything communicates telepathically. And the fascination with that is that the humans that they're communicating with understand them. So we do have that capability. It's just been buried through whatever, public education, whatever did that. It was very effective because humans have, in large part, not realized that ability. So I'm interested to see what you come up with in that, because I know your research. I know that your knowledge is just absolutely, astounding. And I'm going to be watching that because I've attended 2 different international UFO conferences this year. 3 really. And I keep forgetting that the first one was this year. It's been quite a time. But the entire study is fascinating. It is actually treated as a science. They have methodologies in place that the paranormal has not found a way to use yet. And it's interesting to watch it.
For me, it's a combination of channeling and physical mediumship, channeling with interdimensional beings, and also Michael says hopefully capture the evidence on film. We will see.
I hope so, because I'm going to be staying tuned to Planet Earth on YouTube just to keep up, because you're doing a great job, and I love this new project of yours. Relatively new.
Thank you.
So I'm looking forward to it. And how can people find you?
Okay, if you want to look at the YouTube channel, just type in Physical Earth, and they can get me on Facebook, which is John Blackburn Physical Medium, and there's also Witches of the Craft.
Yes.
And which is also a Facebook group, and you can also get me